All right. Welcome back, YouTube, to No BS Just News with Steve. As always, I'm your host. Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of the best YouTube around. Just kidding. Anyway, y'all, sorry I didn't put a video out yesterday. I was busy. I know, no excuses, but that's what time it was. I was busy. Hey, but I wanted to bring you some information on the third stimulus check, right? There's a lot of questions going around. Is it going to go off my 2019 tax return? Is it going to go off my 2020 tax return? Is the IRS going to update their Get My Payment portal to let me put my updated bank account information in? What if I have a different address? What do I do? Because I was talking to the United States Postal Service yesterday, and a lot of times, actually all the time, the IRS directs the post office not to forward any type of payments from them if you have a forwarded address and you don't have an updated address on file with the IRS. The USPS will return that check, so they do not forward it. If you haven't filled out the 8822 form or whatever it is on the IRS, go check it out. I don't even know if they're accepting paper address changes right now. I did see something like that on irs.gov, so go check that out if you need to update your address. Anyway, so let's get into it, huh? Stimulus check details, new income qualifications, proposed payment timeline. So let's check it out. What's the latest targeted stimulus check proposal? Well, let's take a look. As the days go on, Democrats, who control the White House and Congress by a thin majority, are slowly settling on a collective vision of the third stimulus check. It will have a $1,400 check per maximum, according to the latest reports, and it will be targeted so that Americans with the highest incomes won't get a full partial check. Biden has already said folks who earn $300,000 will not get anything. Which, I mean, if you're making $300K, you're probably putting that stimulus check in the old bank, in the old savings account, right? I could be wrong, but that's what I would imagine. The latest proposal would draw a line in the sand to exclude individual taxpayers with an adjusted gross income of $100K a year and couples earning $200,000, according to the Washington Post. So $100K individually, $200,000 married filing jointly, $100K for head of the household. Note, that's without dependents. The way the current math works out, a $1,400 flat rate per qualified dependent or any other amount could actually give people a partial check even if they otherwise exceed the income limit. It's complicated. A targeted check that leaves out individuals making $100K isn't too far off from the current stimulus check formula. Looks like a calculator for the third check shows how a person who earns $102,900 a year could still get a partial payment of $5, for example. Embarrassing. Would a third stimulus check draw from your 2019 or 2020 taxes? The confluence of tax season with a third stimulus check is a huge part of the conversation. We'll explore in more detail, but for now we want to point out that the most recent Democratic proposal would determine your total based income from either your 2020 or 2019 tax returns. For example, if you qualify for the full $1,400 check based on your 2020 taxes, but not your 2019 taxes, the proposal would make up the difference at a later date, even if the IRS couldn't process it for several months. So if you think based off your 2019 or your 2020 tax return taxes, you've now got back to work or whatever and you're making more money and it's going to be over the income limit, wait to file until hopefully this stimulus check is done, because Pelosi has guaranteed that it will be done before March 13th and probably by end of February, meaning through the House, Senate, signed off by the president, checks start to issue. So you have until April 15th to get your taxes filed. So go off the 19 tax return if you're going to have a higher adjusted gross income for your 2020 tax return. But there's some catches to that, because if you need to update your address, if you've moved, like myself, for example, we're moving, and my address is going to change. However, my income is going to be higher on my 2020 tax return, so it probably won't qualify. Going off the 19 tax return, my wife qualifies. So do I submit a change of address? Like I said, USPS says they don't forward any type of government checks coming from the Treasury. Some USPSs, he said, the guy told me they do, but they don't. And he said where I'm going, he came from, they don't. So I'm like, that's awesome. I just went through a nightmare, just like millions of Americans did, trying to get the $600 check. Holy cow. Anyway, so those are some of the things. I'm hoping that to get my payment portal within the IRS.gov system, per the executive order Biden signed, giving them some, recommendations on let the taxpayers update their account information. I'm hoping that you can go in there and just put update your information, especially if you had a closed bank account and the IRS sent it to the closed bank account, and then in return you're starting to receive checks now. You might have got one last week. Hopefully we can go in there and update that information. But due to fraud, it could be, I don't know, it's just up in the air. It says, would the IRS process the third payment quickly, and what about a deadline? The IRS and the Department of Treasury set a blistering pace to deliver the second stimulus checks. They're working on each part of it this week in the House, and they say that the House should have it voted on by Friday and to the Senate. Starting within days of former President Donald Trump signing December's stimulus bill, they had no choice. The language of the bill provided only a 17-day window to send the checks out. That was the second stimulus check. There were millions of direct deposit errors, as we know, and now anyone missing stimulus money will have to claim it as part of filing 2020 taxes. Yes, even people who don't otherwise file taxes. So if you're not showing a date that the check was mailed out on your Get My Payment portal and it went up to a closed account, or whatever the situation is, and you qualify, you're probably going to have to claim the recovery rebate credit. Unfortunately, it's horseshit, I know, but what are we going to do? It's too soon to say if the IRS would automatically send a third check to recipients, as it has done with the second stimulus checks, or if the money would be wrapped up into a recovery rebate credit or something like it. We walk through more possible scenarios. Is there anything you can do to get your third check faster? Possibly. Your stimulus check and taxes are tightly intertwined. There are some important things to know about how your taxes can affect whether you'd qualify or not, depending on both the eligibility rules and your 2020 adjusted gross income. But taxes are now also tied in to any missing stimulus money you might have to claim or trace. If you file your taxes sooner, you can get a refund plus missing stimulus money faster than if you, for example, file an extension. We also recommend setting up direct deposit with the IRS to catch a payment up faster. But they're not letting you go in there and update your direct deposit information. They're talking about when you go in and you do your taxes, you put in your direct deposit information on 2020 taxes. That's where they're going to send the stimulus, is what it sounds like. So I don't know. And if you moved recently, better let the IRS and USPS know. We'll see. Which other stimulus check qualifications could change the next payment? Besides possibly lowering the income cap to qualify, Biden has proposed two changes that have been popular among Democratic lawmakers. The first would expand qualifications to dependents of any age, including 13.5 million more, according to the People's Policy Project. That includes college students, older adult relatives, and dependents of all ages with disabilities not just those under the 17 years old cap. So the People's Policy Project will be working on it this week. So man, I don't know. This is getting. I think one of the challenges is going to be when this gets approved, are they just going to start kicking them out again and sending them to those closed bank accounts again? And updating your address with the IRS, they don't make it the easiest. You got to print that form out, fill it. It's not an electronic form. It's kind of a pain. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So stay tuned, y'all. I definitely appreciate it. Does look like the income cap is going to change. I don't know what it's going to be at this time. It might be 50,000 individually, 80,000 for married filing jointly. It could stay at 75 for individuals, 150 for married filing jointly. I don't know. But I will bring you the information on the easiest way to get your check as more information develops, which will hopefully be this week, because really that's the most important part. If you qualify, how do I get it if I have an address change, if my direct deposit information is still incorrect, if I file my 2020 tax return, is it going to go to the new address, is it going to go to my new bank account? Hopefully, but I don't know. Stay tuned. But I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I will be catching up with you soon. Peace out.